Okay, in this video, I will go over Feigenbaum projections, show you how I plot them based on pre-market conditions. I typically like to plot them on the 5-minute chart. And my idea here is that on typical bullish days, we'll hold over the initial condition and visit the upper zones +2 and possibly +3. And on bearish days, we'll hold under the initial condition and get to -2 or -3. I'm plotting out the New York Open because typically I won't be at the charts like into the London session. Sometimes I will, but it's not consistent. So I want to plot at the New York Open and then maybe take trades after the New York Open. So here, if you don't know about the Feigenbaum projections, a consolidation area where price travels above it to take its liquidity to the +1 zone, and then below it to take its liquidity at the bottom to the -1 zone. That's typically showing a good initial condition. Now in this case, we travel to -3, which is typically the whole daily range. So I'm going to take a short here, which will get blown through, and then we will travel up to a very high zone. So you can see that you could flip bullish. I'm seeing the strength coming from a -3 zone visit, knowing that that could possibly be the low for the day, I guess, even if it was pre-market. Okay, yep, at that point my stop was blown through, but I guess stops are great because this one ends up running up to +4. So if I had held, that'd be terrible. But if I would have followed the strength and taken longs out of the initial condition, then we would have been okay. So I'm notating here that +3 and -3, they're typically the high and the low for the day. Well, typically only one of the sides would get hit, not both. That's a rare day that gets to both, which this one did. And getting to +4 is very rare, but I guess it's easier when the initial condition is small, and so the range is kind of smaller. So this day it does get to +4. Here I'm kind of marking out a few key areas for maybe the following days to see if price gets to it and see how it reacts. So I'm marking out the key icon where it's the last swing low before very good momentum movements happen in the opposite direction. So at this point, we're cycling through the pre-market to see where initial condition could have formed. It does look like it would be formed in here. Kind of like a bearish formation, getting over liquidity, forming initial condition, coming back down, showing good momentum from +1 as well. Coming back to initial condition pre-market, but no trades yet. And then it looks like, I think it runs downwards. And came back to initial condition. Okay, so that would be a short entry if I'm feeling bear biased on this day. And it goes to the take profit. Now, again, bearish days, typically we'll see a low at -3, so we could potentially get down there. So here I'm just explaining in writing that -2 and +2, those are the easy reaches, and then +3 and -3 are typical extensions. No, could be the low for the day, and then -4 is really rare move. But if you have one runner to wait for that, you can, or you can exit if there's a nice powerful close in or above the -2 area. And here we're just progressing to the next day. I've got that pink vertical line at the New York Open at 9:30. So let's see where we mark the initial condition. Looks like a steady downtrend day. Those are kind of hard to mark the initial condition, but let's see. Could be there, could be here. I kind of like this second one more. And then I would think that the low of the day could be here in the -1, but we did trend bearish overnight. I guess it's all up to what's the draw of liquidity. I think I'm marking out here a possible draw of liquidity, which is at the -2 area. Yeah, okay. Got to that draw right after open, so it's kind of hard to jump in correctly right at open like that. Might be better just to play how price moves after that draw. Okay, and here I'm marking out -3, which is a typical low of the day. This initial condition is quite wide, so you can see that these levels are wide apart. I wouldn't expect it to get beyond -3 unless this is just a super crazy bearish day. Yeah, I guess that day just went down and down and kept going. That's a rare kind of day. But it did work in a bearish way. Actually, I don't think the initial condition ever got to +1, so it never really confirmed. And that's a tough one. So it really wasn't a confirmed initial condition. Not a great day to trade for the Feigenbaum projections. Here I'm just marking out some key levels to see how price reacts to those levels, if it can flush under or find support there. Got the pink vertical line for New York Open, and let's see where the initial condition is. This one looks a little more straightforward. It's leaning bearish, but it is making good consolidation that gets taken out to the downside, but it was not taken out to the upside. So I would imagine that it can bounce up from here, and this might be the low for the day. Bullish days typically will hold at -1. Yeah, actually, okay, I see that. So that's like a normal size initial condition, or I could wrap up the whole thing. Definitely leaning bearish, but let's see if we can hold back over the initial condition and then go for a long probably. Okay, here I'm just kind of testing my theory of the initial condition holding for a bearish move on a bearish day. Oh, I think I remember this. So this day just kind of chops around and stays in the range, and it never takes profit, and it never stops out. Just kind of plays between the initial condition and -1. So I guess that is probably an option seller's paradise right there. All option sellers are making money that day. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so yeah, option sellers made money. That was the end of the contract, so that's why we have a jump here. We have a jump in a new contract. Looks like it probably started the June contract. So let's see, progressing to get to the days open and see kind of where we would mark the initial condition. Okay, so at that point it's kind of obvious that that top consolidation is the initial condition. We went below, we went above, we even hit down to almost -3. It's a tricky one. If it's going to be bullish or bearish, it's kind of killing both sides here. Okay, went to -3. That -3 early on in the day, that's typically the low. Okay, now we get a strong move, strong bars like that coming up to -2. You can just take it long for a good risk to reward. So yeah, so at that point you would hop in at -2, maybe add at -1, take profit at +1, and then it looks like it almost gets to +3. So that would have been a great day for the Feigenbaum projections. Yeah, +3 common high, +2. Maybe you could do a retrace to +1 or the initial condition and purchase there. Yeah, +1. That could be a buy spot if you want to take it back to +2. Initial condition for sure. A buy spot to take it to +1 and +2. Let's see what we do. Yep. Okay. Got back to +2. That's like a good, 8-point move probably. 6, 7, 8. There you go. Back to +3. Look at that. So initial condition became a breaker, which is quite common in the middle of the day. Like say you have a bullish day and it wants to do a pullback. Initial condition is a great spot for it to hold. And unless your SO shows weakness, then you can short at the initial condition and flip bearish. So here I'm kind of marking up that you saw strength coming out of -3, and that's a good sign, like, okay, and it's early in the day, you got time to reverse. Possibly you could be visiting those positive levels. Progressing on, let's try another one. Not sure if this is my last example in this video. Let's see, might be. Okay, good consolidation, move down, move up. Okay, so I kind of can visually see where maybe the initial condition would be. Yeah, that makes sense, there to there. Yep, got to +1 barely. and then a nice down close candle that took us through the initial condition. That might be a good short. This might be a sign for a bearish day. Yeah. So more great downward candles in the initial condition area. And yep, that's what it ended up being as a short. So you went below -2. Could have been shorting already in the initial condition. Yep, hit a liquidity. So let's see if we can continue down further or build up. Yep, this can be a common low. -2 is a good reach, or good enough reach for a bearish day. Some days stop there, but let's see. Yeah, getting late in the day, so maybe can't really do much. Maybe you'd be done for the day with that first initial short. I'm not sure what I'm right here. Oh yeah, wicks, bunch of wicks on the 5-minute candles, so it's like kind of toppy. And then I think that's the, oh, well, I marked no trades because the real move happened pre-market where it retested the initial condition and showed the short. So if you were around an hour before market opened, then you could have got it, but you didn't really have an opportunity after market open. I mean, you don't want to start shorting like at -2. I mean, -1 at the most for maybe a move down to -3, but you're kind of guessing at that moment because I mean there wasn't even a Judas swing. It just went down and then started chopping. So you really only could catch that move if you worked pre-market. And I think that's the last example. So let me know if you have any questions. Hit me up on X, or you can join my free Discord and ask me any questions there. All right. Thanks.